Welcome friends, today is a really exciting video for you. I'm talking through all of my Dahlia varieties I grew last year, what I liked about them, what I didn't like about some of those, and in the end we have a really cool giveaway because after all the Dahlias I grew last year, I'm sitting on a lot of tubers and would love to share a few with you. So stick around to the end. I'm going to give you more details about the giveaway and how you can enter and win. I'm going through the list in alphabetical order. For some reason I thought that was the easiest to organize them because I couldn't make my mind up before. And yeah, I'm going through them and put a picture up for each and one and the variety name so it's easy for you as usual. And yeah, just talking through those. So let's start with the first one. The first one is Arabian Knight. It's a really cute little deep red dahlia. It doesn't, the pictures never do it fully justice. It's like a really dark wine red, which is pretty. The shape is a water lily type of shape for the dahlia, and the plant itself was always really easy to handle. They came up pretty quick for me. That was one of the first ones I saw sprouting last year after I planted them out. And the plant height was really nice because it was just about, I think, like a 3.5 feet tall plant. So it was easy to handle and easy to contain over the season. It bloomed profusely in the beginning, so I would say the first couple of months, and then it started to tucker out a little bit for me. And this is actually one I'm not planning on growing this year again, just because I'm just not into that color, I gotta say. Like the reds and the oranges, as much as I loved having this much of variety in my garden, they're not making this year's cut. But for everyone who loves red or like a really deep red, this is one which you definitely should go for. All right, then moving on to the next one, Blizzard. I think most Dahlia fans have already heard about Blizzard as being a really great white, profusely productive dahlia. And I gotta say, I can only confirm what everybody else is saying. It's gorgeous. It has stems which are long like that. I couldn't believe it. And it's really like thick stems as well. So for cutting, they are perfect. And if you follow me already a little while here on this channel or over on my Instagram, you know I'm a sucker for white blooms. I just love them. I had so many bouquets last year which rather looked like bridal bouquets, but I didn't care. I just love that color. And the Blizzard was one of my favorite here. The Blizzard had a little bit of a rough start because all the bunnies for some reason were all drawn just to the Blizzard, so they got chumped down like 2 or 3 times, so they bloomed fairly late for me. But again, they had to battle Clementine, my local bunny here. So then let's move on to the next one. Oh, and the Blizzard, of course, I'm growing those ones again. They were just gorgeous. The next one is one which stole my heart. This is a Bloomquist Compare. This was one of my favorite varieties from last year. It was gorgeous how it developed through the season. It had in the beginning only like a rather white or like cream white habit with a little bit of a lavender touch in the middle of the bloom, and it kind of grew into this more lavendy bloom over time, like as the temperature and the season progressed. It was amazing. It was gorgeous. It was productive. It's a rather tall plant compared to the others. It was one of my larger plants. Like I would say like a 4.5 feet was reached easily. So for that one, you definitely need staking. But it was also one of my most productive plants in terms of blooms and also in terms of tuber production. I had 1 tuber and I think I got like out of that around 11 or 12 tubers of that one clump. So really amazing plant. Yeah, and if you followed me for a while, you've seen plenty of pictures last year when I was swooning over those, or I had them like in the back of my share. So it was just like a really great backdrop with those. All right, the next one is called Bride to Be. It's a really cute, smaller sized white bloom again. It is a water lily type, so it's about like that big of a bloom, and I just loved it. It held really, really well in the vase as well. And it was in rather small dahlia, so unfortunately I cramped it in between some larger ones. So it was fighting a little bit for its light and stuff. We'll rearrange that this year a little bit better, but it was a really gorgeous blooming one despite the challenges I put it through, and it always gave like a really nice, like, I love this water lily bloom type from the dahlias because it just like gives some light and airiness to those bouquets. So this one I will grow for sure again, and to have like also from the same color like different types and shapes and variations, I always feel that makes a really beautiful bouquet at all times. The next is one which probably everyone knows, is the Café Lait, aka known as the one who started the craze. That was my first dahlia I ever grew. And yeah, after that I went head first into the dahlia addiction and got all of the varieties we're talking through today. So this one I really loved. This one was also the only one I grew from tubers I saved the year before from my first year, and it's, yeah, what should I say? It's just gorgeous, right? It has those creamy dinner plate, large blooms. For me, they're also always quite productive, because some people say the dinner plate, or the larger the bloom, the less productive the dahlia gets. But for me, they were really, really productive. I had 5 in my garden last year. Unfortunately, I had some issues with a corn borer, like who goes through the stalks and eat the dahlias from the inside out. So I cut those ones back harsh at the end of May, and they all came back, which I didn't expect them to do anymore. They all came back completely and bloomed in the end, which kind of blew my mind. But Café Lait is for me a must-have. First love will always be in my garden, for sure. Next one is the Castle Drive. I really enjoyed that one too. As you know me, those pastel pink color variations are just some which, yeah, always get my heart. It fitted with a lot of other colors I had in the garden constantly, so it was a really, really beautiful one. This one for me didn't bloom so much, but again, like, I had a lot of things going on in this bed. This one took off a little later, while other ones were already like a feet away from it. So I think it was just battling for resources there a little bit. But that one will be for sure one I'm growing again, which I really, really liked. The Cornell is probably the only red one I will keep in this year's lineup. It is just such a beautiful ball-shaped one. Produces really, really well. Holds up the shape in the vase quite well. Dahlias are not known for a really great vase life. The ball-shaped dahlias are just the better ones to stick around longer in the vase. And I can confirm that I had Cornell picked a little bit early so they could open a little bit more in the vase, and I had like a good week of vase life to have them pretty. And if you don't mind the aging look of dahlias, I actually like that sometimes. I could have them stick around for another 3 days, so it was really, really pretty. So Cornell is for me probably the only red keeper, just to have a little bit of a color variation. And then we're coming to one of my favorites. Another one. This is the Coseytown Babycakes. I love that one so hard. You've most likely seen me sharing those on Instagram a million times because it was just so gorgeous. It started out with a rather pinkish hue of the bloom, and then went into peach, and then into like a rusty pink at the end of this season. Like, it had like all the colors. It's like, I would even go that far that if you would ask me if I could only grow one dahlia for the rest of my life, which one would it be? yes, I would drop the Café or Lait probably for the baby cakes because it has so many color variation in one bloom over the entire time. So it doesn't get boring, and it's just also one of the most productive dahlias I had in my garden last year. It just was cranking out blooms from the moment it went to size, and it had also a nice size, like I would say like a 3.5, 4 feet size, so really, really manageable, easy to stake. And from that moment on, it was just cranking. I did have to feed it a little bit more nutrients here and there because I got some discoloration on the leaves because it was a power horse, so it needed a little bit more feeding. But other than that, great stems, always beautiful looking, like the centers of the blooms stuck like close until the, I think like a week or two before my last frost date, my first frost date. So it was really, really gorgeous. Love them. The next one was also a runner-up in my favorites, which was another Coseytown, which I got last year, the Coseytown Gale. Such a sweet, light yellow bloom, also a ball a little bit smaller than the baby cakes. It's compared like, I'm not really good at like the sizing of the Dahlia classifications just yet, but it was a really, it's not the teeny, it's not a mini ball, but like something like a little bit bigger than that. Gorgeous color. In the middle of the season, it almost had kind of like a neon yellow to me, which was a little bit softer in the beginning and had like a peachy hue at the end of the season. So it's really one which fit almost with everything again. So then we come to the Crazy Legs. This was an interesting one for me. I gotta say, I'm not so much into the dahlias with two-sided colors, like a color on the top of the petal and then a different color on the bottom. Not sure why they just don't do it deep for me. And with a Crazy Leg, this was one of the larger plants as well, so it was really hard to stake. Partially my mistake that I didn't stake them properly as well, but it was like long around and around in September. So for that reason, that is one which I am dropping for this year. But otherwise, it was also quite productive. It's a larger bloom, so it's not as productive as like a ball dahlia, but it was quite productive for its size. Just have space for it to be happy. And then the next one is the Diva. That one, I know where it got the name from. It comes late in the season and steals the show for everything else what was there. Boy, was that one beautiful. It was really late. It was, I think, end of August or so when I saw the first blooms. And I had blooms really, really early. So just for you, for comparison, I had my first dahlia bloom 4th of July, and I know that's not normal too. And everything else started to crank end of July for me. But yeah, that was really, the Diva was like one of, I think actually it was the last variety to bloom for me. Yeah, I think so. Like it was like 4 weeks before the last frost, so it was not last August, that was end of September probably. And just the color, the pictures don't do it justice. It's a really deep purple, which looks almost velvety, like it's hard to describe. It's just gorgeous. And the amount of petals in that bloom, it's crazy. It's like so rich and such a high petal count. It's amazing. It's like beautiful and thick and gorgeous. Like when you have that one in a bouquet, it is the showstopper, right? So it's the Diva in the bouquet. So, but it's, yeah, that will be in set one for sure as well for me moving forward. So then when we go to the next one, that is Drama Boy. This is a dinner plate red one, which I enjoyed. It just wasn't really productive for me. Again, like dinner plates do that. Sometimes they don't crank out as many blooms due to the size, right? They gotta put more energy into creating those huge blooms. And again, like it just didn't mix well with all the other colors I had. the bloom or the plant was also on the larger size. So it was in the area which flopped around a little bit. So it was, I would say, like around 5 feet tall for me at the end. And yeah, it just didn't capture my heart as the other one. So that one will be one which I'll pass on this year as well. The next one is Foxy Lady. This is a cutie. This is also really, this was next to the Coseytown Babycakes, also probably one of the most productive plants I had. It was just cranking out non-stop blooms, and it also was cranking out a huge amount of tubers. I had one plant, and that I think by itself got like 15 tubers or something bonkers, like really, really productive on both ends. What is important to know as well is that you can encourage good tuber production if you cut the blooms constantly. The more you cut, the more the plant has energy left to put into tuber rather than like seed production. When you let the blooms on the plant, what happened there is that it takes up a lot more energy to produce seed in a bloom rather than deadheading them or frequently cutting them for cut flowers. So, and I was constantly cutting them. I'm growing them for cut flowers, right? They're not ornamental plants for me. So I think that certainly helped, right? But I really, really enjoyed this one, and this like yellowy, peachy, slightly pinky color combo of this one. Also, again, like fitted in with any type of other color combo I had on the list for bouquets. So that is definitely a grow again for me. I really enjoyed this one. The Gitts Crazy falls for me into the same bucket as the Crazy Legs. It's like this strange, slightly strange double colored bloom, which I'm just not crazy about. And also this one was a large and tall plant for me, and not as productive as the Crazy Legs. So that just didn't do it for me. And that more orangey color, not my favorite. So that one is a drop as well. The Javi G in more water lily type deep red, although that one had more bright notions. It was more like a happy red, like a lipstick type of red, which was nice. Really not as productive as I would have expected it for this size for some reason. This one came up also late, so it probably was like battling or competing with a few of the other ones, but I really didn't go crazy over it. So as real estate is expensive in my garden this year, this one was a pass as well. And the next on the list is the Jowey Nickey. I really enjoyed this one. It's an orange, but it's more leaning into the peachy area. So I really enjoyed that. And again, like a ball, they just last in the vase very, very well. And that will get a second run. It wasn't as productive, but it was also planted late and planted in a strange location for me. So it gets a second chance for me this year, and then I'll decide after this year if it's a pass or if I'm going to keep it. Then another crowd pleaser is the next one, the Peaches'n'Cream. After I grew it this year, I do understand why it's a crowd pleaser. Boy, is that pretty, and like the bloom shape is so special compared to all the other dahlias I had in my garden. It is pretty. It has nice long stems. The petal count is amazing. It changes the color through the season a little bit as well. So I had it very, very creamy, peachy in the beginning of the year or in the beginning of the season, and then it turned into more orangey. Like a few blooms turned more orangey over time, which I enjoyed as well. And I gotta say, this was the most perfect tuber clumps as well. Like all beautiful separated eyes, super easy to identify, like the perfect easy tubers. So I know why growers and gardeners love Peaches'n'Cream equally, right? It's a really, really beautiful bloom. So the red Symphony is also a large red one, which I wasn't crazy about, also a tall plant. I think it produced like 3 blooms for me the entire season, so that's just not what I'm looking for. And again, that color just didn't do it for me. The Ryan C, the next one. If you saw my posts on Instagram through last year, you might remember me referencing it as the shut up plant because it had the most beautiful color combinations. It was like a position a little bit around the corner, so every time I saw like one of those crazy beautiful color combos, I was just thinking shut up. So it was so beautiful. So that one really stole my heart and ran away, and that interestingly is a bicolored one. But I think what I liked about it compared to like the Crazy Legs or the Gitts Crazy, that you don't know what you get in terms of color combinations. I had all kinds of different color combos with this deep purple with combined with the white. So beautiful. Unfortunately though, the most terrible tuber producer. I got only 3 tubers out of this, so this variety won't be unfortunately in the giveaway, but and those were questionable tubers. Under normal circumstances, I would not have saved those tubers, but I really wanted to keep that in my garden, so I hope I get like 1 or 2 plants out of it with a little luck, but it was just so stunning and so beautiful that it's worth the pain. So we'll see. Stay tuned to see if we'll have a viable tuber to grow it again, but this one was just gorgeous. So the next one is this Salish Twilight Girl, and I know it's a very popular one. It's one of the more expensive tubers out there if you go to a grower and buy them. I was so happy that I got 2 tubers of them, I think from Triple Run Farm or so, and what should I say? I just didn't like it. It's so sad when you spend a good amount of money on the tubers, but this was also the largest plant of dahlias I had across the board, so they were easily like 7 or probably 8 feet tall. So I'm already tall, like I'm like 5'10", and they were like easily, yeah, I would say like easily 7 feet tall, and not that many blooms for that type of like size of a plant, right? So it was, and then the blooms were also not the greatest. I know you should give them another season to give them another chance, but I gotta say the blooms I saw, even the more like normal looking blooms, they just didn't get me like super excited. I gotta say again, it was again these petals where you had like a little lavender color on the bottom and a little more creamy on the top of the petals. So just not sure why those like double colored ones don't do it for me. Aesthetics, I guess. So that one will be one which I drop as well for 2023. And then a cute one, which yes, I only bought it by its name originally because I'm German and that's a German name for it, Stolze von Berlin. But it's also right up my alley with the color. It is a teeny tiny ball. Like I think it's a mini ball. It's super cute and like a really nice color accent, like to pop in here and there in bouquets. It is quite productive. The size of the plant is also rather small, so they grow just like to like, I would say like 2 to 3 feet or 2.5 to 3 feet maximum. But it's quite productive and really beautiful and holds up quite well in the vase, and I just love this color. And it also produced a good amount of tubers. Those were also tubers I saved from a previous years and have been growing them along. And then another one I really enjoyed, Sweet Natalie, just a beautiful, I'm not sure if that qualifies as a water lily type of bloom. I don't think it's a decorative one. Anyway, it's a beautiful bloom with this soft pink hues on it, really gorgeous. It was for me quite productive in the beginning, and then it tuckered out a little bit for, yeah, I'm not sure, like 2-3 months in. I think I was just tired because it produced so much in the beginning. It was one of my first to bloom as well. So they were just pretty. And then the last ones, the white Nettie, super cute white ball, same size as the Stolze von Berlin, but just in a very, very pure linen white, a gorgeous tone of white, also very productive, also a small plant, so I'm really enjoying them. And this year I'm rearranging my bed the way that hopefully all the small ones are together and all the taller ones are together, and we'll also have them all together, so no color coordination, or not as big as I had it last year, but the size and the staking needs will be prioritized before the colors, so everything will be looking wild and multicolored this year. So I also have a few new additions, because who can grow dahlias without adding some new into the bed? And I'm really excited. As I mentioned earlier, I love the Bloomquist variety so much. I actually had one more, but this one had unfortunately crown gall when I lifted the tuber. That one was upsetting, so I had to drop that tuber clump, but luckily that was the only dahlia which was affected. Great proof that my cleanliness practice, or my cutting practice throughout the year, was worth the effort, because I didn't cut between any plant without cleaning my shears in between. So I always had like a little teeny tiny bleach bucket, and like always like quickly dipping my shears in like bleach and a little bit of dish soap. So I had like always 2 mason jars in there, and then went on cutting the next plant. And in the middle of the season, when I was tired, I was like, oh, do I really have to do it? But then I was like, you've done it half a season, so don't don't drop it now. And in the aftermath, I'm really happy that I did, because that's how you would like bring problems from one plant to the other. And I had some other plants around it, and nothing else was affected by it. So be careful with your cuts, and be really diligent when you clean your shears in between those cuts as well. So that was just quick lessons learned here. But so I had to drop that one. But for that reason, I wanted to get a few more Bloomquist varieties as well. And so as new additions, I have the Bloomquist Brother, also for the first time a more open-faced dahlia, an anemone type dahlia, which I'm excited to grow. That's my first one in that regard. And another Bloomquist one also in the anemone variation, but again, like that color will just fit with so many I have already. The Golden, I can't wait to see how those will turn out. Both of them are supposed to be smaller as well, so they get mingled in with all my small dahlias. And then I got even 2 Ka tubers, where I'm super excited about. The Ka Bo Peep, which is also the first one I'm growing a cactus. I haven't grown a cactus, and I'm not sure if I'm liking them just yet, but that one is welcome to, yeah, teach me otherwise. So, but I was just so happy that was available, so I clicked and ordered that fast, as well as the Rosie Joe. So I'm really excited to see those ones in my garden. And then I really wanted to get all the new Coseytown varieties in my garden. And Leanne, in case you're watching that, you broke my heart with the, yeah, there was the Dahlia sale just a couple of weeks ago, and I was so hoping I get all of those new varieties, but I was only able to secure the Coseytown Kay, which is a beautiful like pinky one, which I'm excited about as well. But I was really hoping to get one of the one each of the new introductions, where that one was wild sale, so we'll see if I'm able to get some of those next year. But my wallet was very happy that I didn't get all of those because it would have been expensive. But anyway, that is my lineup for 2023. I'm really curious to hear from you. What are your favorite varieties? What are your ones which you love to grow. So yeah, let me know in the comments. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm also having a Dahlia tuber giveaway here with you today. All of those varieties I walked through from last year, so not the new additions, but everything which I have grown last year and just went through with you. I have a good amount of tubers, which are way more than I can ever grow. So for that reason, I want to share some with you. So today I'm giving away for 5 winners. You can pick any 5 tubers as long as they're in stock. And let me walk you through this. So 5 winners, each of you can pick 5 tubers out of my stock. What you do to win or to enter is please subscribe to the channel and comment below which 5 tubers you want to get if you win. So that is all you have to do. And a little bit of the fine print here, because that's important to really know what you're entering to here as well. Please, only adults, right? Anyone 18 and older. I can unfortunately only ship to the continental US. So sorry, my international friends, that's unfortunately not possible. The giveaway is open until March 24th, until midnight or 11:59. I'm going to use a random comment picker to find the 5 winners. And as we're here on YouTube, what I'm going to do is I will reply to the winner's comment with an email where you can claim your prize. Please send me to that email your address within a week. If you don't react to it, I'm going to pick another winner out of the sets who then can claim the tubers themselves. If for some reason winner number 1 out of 5 claimed already tubers and are not in store and in the inventory anymore, and you are number 2 and have some of those which are out, I'll share my inventory list with you so you can pick a replacement, hopefully find something else which you like. So then the only last important thing is also I am not shipping them most likely right away. I'll probably wait another couple of weeks until the danger of frost is past, because we don't want to hurt those tubers in transit, right? And yeah, and that giveaway is of course not associated with YouTube in any way. Cool. Well, I wish you good luck. I hope you like this giveaway, and I can't wait to see like what varieties you're looking for and you want to win. And as per usual, if you want to see what else I have in stock or any other future developments here and how my new dahlias are growing, subscribe to the channel and watch another video. Thank you.